Ladies and gentlemen, or however you choose to identify, it's 2020. And honestly, that should have been happening for many years before then. So, whomever you are, I just want to thank you for stepping in today into the gap, which is known as the God appointed place or the space between the idea and the execution. I am George 2.0, and this is even if you weren't watching, but yep. Clearly you are. So this is where we have intimate conversation. And for this particular segment of the show, I wanted to bring in a dude that I know very, very, very well. And what's important about that is in those kind of conversations, you can ask questions that maybe you know the answers to, but you hear a side of the story, a story for which you might have been a participant that you've never heard before. And so what I wanted to do was bring in a dude that I've known since, wow, I guess I was probably about 18, although that doesn't really count because I didn't like him at all that first like year or so. So I'll say I've known him since like 19 or so. And this guy is, and I know you guys can't see it, but on the wall behind me, I have all three of my best men. And of course, this gentleman was one of them. I met him at Morehouse College when we both lived in Whitehall, which for that first semester of our freshman year had the highest GPA of any campus, I mean, any dorm on campus, which is crazy to me because I don't know what I contributed much to that. And I saw most of the places that he was. I don't know what the hell he contributed to it either. But we actually boasted the highest GPA at the time. We also had a prize winning step team. And by prize winning, I mean we made it through our freshman step show without passing out. And some other gems that I'm really excited to share with you. I think most importantly, though, I want to make sure that he has a chance to explain who he is. So I'm not going to tell you too much about who he is, because in this conversation, I want you to recognize that this iron that I'm about to introduce to the show actually sharpens my iron, and I hope I do the same for him.
Am I on?
Hey, you're totally on. Yeah, you're on. We're on together, as a matter of fact.
You blacked out there for a minute. No pun, but
And when I came to light, all puns.
there I was.
There you were. I'm gonna tell y'all what, just so you guys understand. And this is, I hope nobody takes actually, I don't care who's offended by it at all. We've known each other since Morehouse College, and we've been telling some of these same jokes. They've just gotten a little bit better. Larry's he's heard the dark joke. I make the light jokes. About him lotioning with highlighter or whatever comes to mind. These are things that we just basically the way we describe it is when I zig, he zags. When he zags, I zig. So this is a zigzag
Right.
kind of relationship. Am
Enough
I right, man?
sag and enough zig, you might actually stay right in the
Somebody,
middle, right somewhere,
you,
in the center.
where
So,
are you right now?
I'm actually in the middle of the Landry, which is my better half's co-working slash event space.
Okay.
That's uh, I'd take you for a tour another time, but yeah, I'm in
Tell me,
the
tell me what the Landry is.
yeah. So I mean, it's basically like a creative studio, place where people who don't get enough sleep at night because their brains are always moving can come and work and also play. We rent the space out often to photographers, videographers, people who want to create essentially. Um, and then occasionally, if it's not too COVID uncompliant, then we have small events here for people who want to have baby showers, small weddings, birthday gatherings, things like that. So yeah,
Dope, dope, dope. I love it. So Larry, I mean, I wanted you to come in here because
did you? Did you?
I just wanted to kind of get a couple of things together, right? I got a bunch of rapid fire questions I'm going to ask you at a certain point, but before I do begin that, I wanted to actually share a little bit more detail about our relationship. Larry and I, we actually met about 2 years or so before that top photo. If you look at that top photo up there,
Are you going to be doing this the whole time with these pictures?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay, because this
Can
is
you can
that's a
can you?
hell of a photo, right? I don't even know if I've seen that top one.
I mean, I'm just asking that you zag, man. I don't know which way I'm gonna zig. In that top photo,
Yeah.
I think we're at BT Harvey. Can you tell people what's happening there?
Well, it looks as though you're gazing upon the crowd
Uh-huh.
at what I'm going to guess is homecoming because the stands are not normally that packed. Um, and I'm looking somewhere into the game there. We're on the sideline, what it looks like, and this is not a pose at all, even though it looks outstanding. I think this is just a candid shot of you zigging while I zag.
Yeah, I actually don't know who took that photo. I imagine it was one of those like just handed to somebody.
Yeah,
And
I'm
just
gonna go with Jeff Bennett.
I can go with Jeff Bennett. I like that. That's not a problem at all.
Go with Jeff
My thought was that, we just handed it to somebody and told them, "Hey, there's no way you can mess this up."
Bennett. Right,
I mean, you just
shoot away.
and then in the bottom photo, what's happening?
I do remember that one. I think this is either halftime or the end of the game, maybe 2, 3 years ago. Homecoming, Morehouse College,
Yeah, I think
Spellhouse Homecoming.
yeah, it looks like that's what it was. So what we would do, just for those of you who don't know, at homecoming, it's our favorite holiday, one of our favorite holidays. And no matter what our responsibilities were for that day, whether that was our own tent, whether that was going to all the other tents, whether that was manning the Kappa tent, we would always find a moment to just get away and actually go to the game because sometimes we forget that there's a game happening because the
Right,
real competition is actually happening in the middle of tailgate.
right.
Fight like I can, I take a muscle bound man and put his face in the sand. All ass muscle, I'm an MC cop. Take his aim,
There you go.
Wait, let me ask you this, dog, and I've never asked you this before. Were you nervous?
Not once we got started.
Yeah.
No. When we were backstage or whatever, I was like, I more amped. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But yeah, I definitely had those nerves that sort of manifest themselves differently. But once we got started, I was like, oh, I'm in it.
I'm the opposite. Well, I was until about a year or so ago. I never
Yeah,
got nervous when it was time to perform. I just loved doing it so much.
yeah,
So I wasn't nervous leading up to it. But when I got on stage and it was time for me to get ready to go out, even I had planned to come out nice and slow because I wanted to really get myself grounded. But
right.
it moved so slow because I was like, yo, I think I just got nervous. And not only nerves do that to you, but also not being familiar with what it feels like to be
Mhm.
nervous. I was like, yo, what is
Right. What's
going
happening?
on? But you came out so hard. Like you came out so hard that I was like, now look, I know we on the same team. And I know that's my man 50 grand. And
Yeah.
I would really like to applaud him for his bussum when this whole thing is over. I'd like for him to be excited. I'd like for us both to be able to watch this clip 20
Right.
years from now. But if I drop this wood, we not watching this. We
It's
not
gonna be
talking
tough.
about this. It
It's
didn't
gonna be
happen. As long as that man don't drop his during his bussum and I don't drop mine during my bussum, then
tough.
we can
Oh
we can
man.
relive this moment over and over and over and over. And that is exactly what happened.
No.
That was crazy what we did.
Right.
I gotta laugh because I think it's hilarious that you're wearing a black sweatshirt and a hat. Now I know that's not a big deal to anybody else, right? But let me tell you something, right? And it doesn't even make any sense because we don't look alike. We're not the same body composition. None of those things.
Right.
But I guarantee that even though we haven't seen each other in what? How long has it been? A,
About a year.
about a year. Okay,
Coming
it's
up
about a
on a
year
year.
because you came out in about January. So coming up
Yeah.
almost a year, right?
Yeah.
Haven't been shopping together. Haven't even talked about clothes. I guarantee whatever one of the last three items that you purchased, I guarantee I purchased it also. When I tell y'all, and y'all gotta feel me, it's always just like it's categorically close. Because if you were going to describe for somebody not watching the stream right now, they'd be like, so what did Larry have on? Well, he had on the black shirt and the hat. Okay, what did George have on? Black shirt and a hat. It's been like that since day one to the point where I didn't even call you to ask you what you were wearing on the stream because I was like, it
This
doesn't matter.
this is true. This is true. Listen, for the viewers, we would go we would go on trips, right? And it
Yep.
got to a point where George would literally call me the night before, like,
Got to
"What's in your suitcase,
tell
bro?"
me, dog, because if I
Right.
show up and I'm wearing my new corduroy, blah 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 blah, and you got on. And here's the thing: it sometimes it's the exact same item.
Exact
Honestly,
same item.
like sometimes it's the
Exact same
exact same
item.
item, but more often than not, it's just the same concept.
Yeah.
Like if back in the day, during like the early college dropout years, like right before the album came out, it was all like blazers and jeans, or
Right.
that's how we would show up to the club. Man, it might only be two people from our line in the club with blazers and jeans on, and it'd be that seven, and it'd be this 18. Real quick, shout out to the Vipers of Grandpa, and all of our line brothers that are listening. We love y'all. So yeah, we had a lot in common. But the funny thing is, Larry, we actually have a lot that we don't have in common
It's
also.
true.
And
Yeah.
that's the part that interests me the most. You're a southern boy.
Right.
I'm a northern boy. What do you take in your grits?
Definitely sugar.
Oh, okay, we're cool there. Okay, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. All right, we're cool.
Definitely sugar. Yeah. Yeah.
So
No. 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 No.
yeah, who needs a baked potato at
No. No.
breakfast?
No.
It just
No. No.
doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's what home fries are for.
No.
The salt.
Do you put sugar? I mean, do you put salt on a croissant?
No, no,
No.
I've never had a salt croissant.
Why the hell would I put it in my grits then?
You wouldn't in heaven or hell
Mm-mm.
or purgatory, anywhere in between. It's ridiculous. It's absurd.
Silly.
But one of the things that I think is really, really interesting is that there is an area where Larry and I are completely divergent. And that area was exemplified. We figured that out really, 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 really early on. And the funny thing about it is, though it has never gotten in the way of our friendship at all, it is something to the earlier point I was making. Did not have this conversation at all. Did not have this conversation. Um, that's just funny to me. Anyway, it never got in the way of our friendship that Larry is a Dallas Cowboy fan and I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Even so much so that we made it our tradition that we would do our best every year to make sure that at least one of the games, because in our trash ass conference we play each other twice, at least once one of the games we would try to either make it down to Jerry World or to the link. This is where's it? What year is this picture from?
Now I'm gonna go with 2014,
Okay,
maybe
2014. So
earlier. Maybe earlier.
so
And
let
shout out to the wives for enduring this. They
man,
made
let me
those
tell you
signs
what.
for us, man.
Let
That's
me tell you what.
poor them.
Poor them for even embracing that we felt the need to go, because here's the thing, somebody, unless we decided not to care, somebody was going to leave upset. It was a
It's gonna
losing
happen.
situation for them. They were going to have to go home with somebody who had an attitude. And
Right.
here's what's crazy, I don't even remember who won that game.
I'm not. I was just thinking that when you were saying that, like, was I the one that went home upset? And I can't remember.
I have no idea. Although, as passionate fans of our teams, and I think also out of respect for each other and knowing how the other one feels, we
Yeah.
can always find something to complain about with our team.
Right.
Like it's
Even in a win.
even in a win, it was
Even in a
like, I'd be like, "Yo, man, y'all did so and so." Yeah, but I mean, God,
we also know when the loss is so bad
we
or
don't need to talk.
the win is so good, it's like let it go. Don't. We'll talk about it next week. You know.
Next week will be fine. And here's the thing: it won't be a phone call about that. It'll show up in the call. We might
Right.
we might call, talk about the kids. Something else would be like,
So true.
yeah. So,
So about
did you
the
see
game.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Right.
You
Did you
watched?
catch it? You know I
Okay.
got
That's cool. You saw who won and everything, right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I just can't believe that they let him just run like that. Just freely.
Yeah. Me either, man. And y'all, man, if it ain't us, man, I mean, y'all, cuz this year it might be y'all this year, man. That's literally
Exactly
how our
not.
conversations go. And I'm gonna tell you what, man. Like honestly, and this is something for those of you that have lifelong friendships that you're really, especially during this time, figuring out how to continue to cultivate and to support each other, whether it's sports, whether it's talking about your kids, whatever. I'll be honest, and Larry, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I would be hard pressed to say we don't talk once a week.
No, don't many weeks go by. Like,
Not that many, right? And it's
maybe
all
nowadays, like,
every once in
he's
a
out of
while.
town or something. I don't, yeah, but typically, yeah, I mean, I know that our wives would say we talk every week for sure.
Let me tell you what. When I'm on the phone, and my wife comes by and goes, "Tell Larry I said hey," I'll be like, "What if I'm not talking to him?"
Right,
Damn, Larry
right.
Joby said hey
All the time.
all
All the
the
time.
time.
I just get the look. Who is it, George?
Randy be
Is it
hard on us though.
George?
Randy be hard on us for real.
Yeah.
Why don't y'all go on a trip? Why don't you- Which again, back to the things that we have in common. For those of you watching, our wives actually share a birthday. Now put
It's
that
nuts.
together.
It's nuts.
That's crazy.
It's
I
nuts.
mean, that's wild. That's super wild to me. Yeah, so I mean in terms of the way that both of our trash ass teams look in a conference that has been dubbed the NFC least, and I fought against it, and I don't look at the memes where there's the dumpsters chasing each other down in the rain and
Right.
all that kind of stuff like that. The idea that whoever wins the NFC East is going to host a playoff game, all that kind of stuff out the window. With all the anticipation and the excitement and the promises that we were given at the beginning of this year from our local radio stations, from the signs that show up a little bit bigger in front of the supermarket and the little dolls and all the stuff you see everywhere. Everybody's excited. Football season's coming back.
Right.
What 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 happened?
Yeah. You know, that's it's one of those. All I got is that right there. I'll say this. I was thinking about it. 'Cause, we play each other tonight, right? I was thinking about what it feels like, or what I envision it feels like, and this relationship between the Cowboys and Eagles in this present day is a lot like what I would assume a marriage between a cocaine addict and a meth head. Now, to be clear, y'all are the
That's clear.
y'all are definitely the meth heads, okay?
We're the meths.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely the meth heads.
Well, that's only because there's proven cocaine usage in game. Okay, from the Dallas Cowboys. That makes perfect sense. I'm okay with that.
That's what I'm saying. Like we've already cornered that market.
They be in the huddle lifting up that play call.
So I'm imagining that, like, even for a friendship like ours to be bound to these two teams, like that's kind of what it's like. It's like being married to meth and married to cocaine.
Yeah.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? I can't stop.
Why?
You know, why every year? At least you all have had a championship. In
Yeah, but it's the
recent
first one
memory.
since I've been alive. So I spent many years doing the same thing I'm doing this year because that's actually what made it a little bit worse. Having the championships, like, oh, we about to go on out. We're finally gonna have our run.
Right.
I would love to win 2, 3 in a row, but like I also want to be competitive. Like,
Yeah.
and it felt like it was that time, right? But what I'm doing is the same thing we do every single year because of this trash conference. It's like, yo, we're 1-15. We could
Right.
still
It's
make
still
it.
got a shot.
Still got a shot.
It's holding on to just.
Bruh, put me out of my misery. Like every week, it's like, all right, well, look, if the Giants win, then it's over for everybody in the conference. Oh, the Giants lost 1,000-3.
Right.
Okay, well, if the Washington football team loses to the Patriots back when Tom Brady was there, then we're at the top of the conference. The
Bro,
Washington football team won 1,000. What is that?
we're the only conference that legit every year it goes to the last game of the season.
And they know that because the way they set the games up,
It's
you're
always we're always playing in conference.
always playing in conference. There's never a last game where it's like it don't matter.
Right.
Never.
Like, can we sit this one out? Just, things are wrapped up.
Can we watch other games maybe and think about other things?
It's terrible, man. It's terrible.
Yeah,
I really am. I blame my grandfather. He put this curse on me.
it's my grandfather too, my pop for sure, for
He
sure.
put this curse on me.
Sure.
He made me sit and watch these games with him as a little boy.
Absolutely.
My dad doesn't. My dad is a Cowboy hater.
My
He
dad told me earlier this year that, and yeah, at 1.0, I'm putting you out there. My dad was like, well, I guess Kansas City's my team. Nigga, what? How you just picked the Super Bowl team?
Okay.
So not only are you abandoning the commitment that
Right.
we've upheld for
Right.
decades,
And,
but
and then,
you're just gonna roll with the winners, huh?
yeah, and leave me out here.
Okay.
Just
All right.
the team that you refuse to allow me not to cheer
There
for.
was never a moment when I couldn't. And as I show a picture of the link, again, shout out to my grandpa, who back when it was Vet Stadium, he took me on my first sporting event. Mike Quick, Randall Cunningham, all that was crazy. But my dad and I went this year to, well, earlier last year, I'm sorry, to the link pre-COVID, trying to really uphold the tradition as much as I could. It was a surprise for him. And we'd had the baby shower the day before, and one of our homegirls, Naima, gave Georgie a little a onesie. So I
Yeah.
took it to the link, and me and my dad, we kind of baptized it there, so it was cool. And we also went there when he beat cancer. That was his prize. We sat a little higher up this time because he's cancer was in remission. But the
Shout
first
out to
year,
shout out to 1.0.
But before I get into these rapid fire questions, since we're talking about teammates and we're talking about conferences, I'd like to talk about a particular team that we happen to find ourselves on often that wins every single time
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
we play.
lovely. Different game.
Don't have the records in front of me, but
No need.
I'm gonna
Put a
say
zero on the other side of it. Whatever it
whatever's over
is.
there gets a zero, right? Like as is evidenced by the trophy that you see in front of us. This is HBCU spring coming. I think this is 2017, 2018, something like
Feels
that.
right. Yeah.
It was supposed to pour down raining. It actually did. People still came out. And under the tent, one of the Spades teams that had signed up to play for Morehouse, I guess they didn't show up because of the rain. And we were about to forfeit. And somebody was like, wait,
Say
do y'all want
less.
to play? And we said, in fact, we put our fingers up to their mouths.
Say less.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, but you guys, there's so many other things. Yeah, no. Just three hands is probably all we'll really need.
Right.
Matter of fact, let's let everything bid itself.
Don't even
Don't
stress yourself out.
this paper, this pencil. And I think that we are hell on opponents on top of all of that. And the thing is, you think that you are being distracted. You would assume those of you who've never been, because also watching us play spades is a full spectator sport. Even if you're not playing, I come and watch.
For
You
sure.
think that we would like not adhere to the rules, like talking across the board? No. I'm not gonna talk to Larry.
I don't want no
Talk
excuses.
to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
to you, and I'm gonna talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's unpack that. Let's what you've been going through. Let's
So the move that you just made, were you watching him? Were you watching him play? Okay,
right.
cool. All right.
We're still
How about
playing
this?
spades, right? We haven't transitioned.
Yeah, man. That day we were absolutely ridiculous, and like you said, that day I was like, "Yo, that's gonna be my partner." Shout out to Cliff. If Cliff is around,
Oh
I
yeah.
love it. I actually even love watching y'all play together. It's all cool. It's
Yeah.
because it's entertaining,
Yeah.
right? Like,
And,
and
and
if y'all are playing together, I'm just going to cheat with
right.
whoever I have and blame it on him. I'm going. I mean, like the whole. I'm going to renege.
See,
Cliff is
Cliff,
sitting.
Cliff is good though because he knows both roles.
He does.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
he
he
does.
can play
He can
me
play
or
both.
he can play you.
Yeah. Which is good. That's why we both like playing with him because he's.
Right.
I'll never forget Cliff, and people say they don't learn how to play spades after a certain age because black people ain't gonna teach you. We don't got the patience for that.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was learning to play spades as a kid, Cliff and his family were teaching. They're from Trinidad, and I didn't realize that. I thought they were just like island people playing with their shoes and socks off. It's January. We're on the back porch. I don't know why y'all are doing that, but cool. Little
Right.
did I know they were passing cards between their big toe under under the table, bruh. And like when I finally figured that
Toe
out,
shuffling.
bro, I wasn't even mad. I was like, that's so simple and basic and impressive.
Right.
Like y'all literally right underneath me with your feet are passing cards, and I'm not seeing this each time. I was like, y'all got it, bro. I like that took cheating to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Bro, that's square one right there.
Well,
Like that's
speaking of square one, we are both kind of back to square. You're back to square one, two, and three. I'm back to square one. You got them Urels over there with my sweetheart, the Electric Lane, of course, Lennox and Lou, and I'm getting on the boards with Georgie Dubois. And I gotta say, man, one of the first outings that
oh man.
that I had. I think this might be the first time that I actually had her out in the stroller. Jovian was speaking for BET somewhere, and we had been cooped up in the house. This is again is
Just speaking
pre-COVID.
for BET,
The house.
big deal.
I'm
You know,
sorry, I should have dropped that a little bit bigger because who knows? She could have been ushering with Jesus, this kind of
right,
gigs that she gets, right? But they gave us the hotel for the day, and I was like, well, let me get out the house. So not only did I get out the house, but I got dressed
right.
because I remember you calling the night before or maybe the day of and being like, I'm in town. Now at this point, I don't think I had a proper drink in the 2 months that Georgie was
You had one that day,
cool.
buddy. I think when we first sat down, it had shade, but maybe about 20 minutes
Got
into it,
hot.
it was hot,
Got hot.
but I didn't move.
No,
We didn't move. I just kept drinking and sweating, and
drinking and sweating. Because this part you can deal with
with
on the
with the
sweat.
baby, with my niece.
And let me tell you what, she was knocked out. That was her first
Oh,
time being in the bar.
oh,
And she was asleep. And Jovi kept texting me like, "Is Georgie okay?" And I was like,
yeah, 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 yeah. We good.
"She's straight." Even though I know we're playing tonight, we might not talk tonight. Probably not. We might talk tomorrow, but we almost never talk during the game.
No,
Like, it's just
no.
nothing to be said.
I
It's
know
just
what that is, man. I know, and we both know what it feels like to be interrupted when
by
it's a
anything,
serious matter, you know.
anything. Because as
And
much as we were telling other people that, man, we don't care, this season's over. There's
right,
really only one game a year that like you really are like, all right,
that's
even
it.
if I'm gonna watch this whole game,
Right. Even
and
if we're trash, even if they're trash,
I'm gonna watch the replays. I'm gonna cuss at the screen. I'm gonna listen to how bad it was. I have to watch this game because no matter how bad either one of our teams are, we could put up a 50 piece on each other just
well,
because
this game it tells you about the team. You know,
character,
what I'm saying? Yeah, it
character,
tells you about the team. Like
not talent.
if this is truly a trash team, they will show it
You
today.
going you and even if you lose
And
and
if you
you
look,
fight hard, you're not a trash team. But if you're really
exactly,
trash and you just come out and just give it up,
yeah,
then I'm upset
know
with
what
you.
you have. Know what
Yeah,
you have.
man. Well, look, El, I wanted to take just a little bit of your time, man. I know you got a lot going on. The game is probably about to start, and I don't know. This is me pretending I don't know exactly when the game's about to start.
About 3, 4 hours, something like that.
You know. But I wanted to say, having you here on, even if you weren't watching, particularly having the conversation to let people know that there is a way in which you can continue to benefit from strong friendships, from families being involved, from learning more about each other's children. I think that that is our post baccalaureate experience. Like we had a whole undergraduate, a whole, pre alumni kind of experience. But being in this stage of our lives when it really matters, when I can call you and just start talking and not even say hello, when I can text you and be like, yo, man, I'm about to go do this thing. Can I get some prayer together? And think to myself, you know what? This nigga about to call me. He not gonna text me back. I wanted him to just pray. I didn't feel like talking, but he about to call and say, let's pray right now. Those kind of relationship things are the things that I really value and I really appreciate. And I
Bro.
just wanted to have that conversation, bro.
Yeah, man. I say this all the time. Like, if your relationship is only built on or relying upon the nostalgia of yesterday, then you don't have a real relationship. Um, and so I'm always thankful and like thanking God that, we have a relationship that continues to grow, that constantly, making new memories, new conversations, and
Yeah, man.
just still sharpening,
Still,
still
still,
ironing.
Still sharpening. So
Yeah.
before I let you go, let me just hit you real quick with the rapid fire random impromptu questions you have to answer right away. Do not think
All
about your answer at all. Here we
right.
go. What do you consider the first day of the week and why?
Monday. And because I feel as though like I don't rest until Sunday, so it's kind of appropriate that you rest after you work in my life, I guess. The way I
Okay.
look at it. Yeah.
Who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Muhammad Ali.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, that's gonna be mine right behind you. Maybe I think that you know what? It's behind you, and I think subconsciously I went there,
Might have.
even though I probably would have said it
That
anyway.
was probably your answer anyway.
But I could have hiccuped and said something different.
Give me a quote that you live by.
what am I going to do today to be the man that I dreamed of tomorrow and better than the man that I was yesterday?
I love that. I love that. What is your favorite curse word?
Shit.
Nice. What's a skill that you don't have but you wish that you did?
Piano.
What was the last movie you watched?
Indiana Jones.
What is your Cash App or Venmo?
Bank Yarrell. Cash App.
Maybe somebody will bless you. What's a meal that you can cook in anybody's kitchen?
Spaghetti.
And lastly, are you typically early, on time, or late to your appointments?
On time.
Nice. Well, look, I want to be on time too, Larry. I really appreciate you being here. Kiss all the kids in ascending order for me, and then hug your wife.
I will definitely do that, brother, with pride.
All right, man. Peace.
Just like for me, man. Be good.
Yeah, man.